Hey, what's going on YouTube and what's poppin'? We got another video here for you today. We will be diving deeper into the most frequently asked question at the Midnight Society LA event. What is a vertical VR? Let's dive in. At the Midnight Society LA Founders event, there was two portions of the show where people from the audience could ask some questions. Some questions were from well-known content creators you might know, such as Team Summertime and Jake Lucky. One question that kept being asked frequently was, what is a vertical VR shooter? We got some answers from the dev team.
I'll still go back to the vertical. I just want to know what are we playing? Am I gonna be, taking stuff out? Am I gonna be collecting M16s and taking them home and building toilets? Am I going to be, like fighting other people in a game? I want to know what it is. I know it looks good though.
It does look good. Does it look good? All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here and for enjoying DeadDrop.
Hey, what is this? What is a vertical shooter? What does that mean? And am I going to be, are we going to be taking stuff home and building toilets? I don't know. That's pretty interesting. It's up to you guys to help influence that. How much do you want to take materials back and build toilets, right? These are the things we want to hear. But for us, a vertical shooter, especially in this, a vertical extraction shooter, you saw the tower, right? If you've played the build and then you saw the name reveal, you see that daunting tower in the distance. And we're not going to be revealing too much about that, but what you can expect from a vertical shooter is, from a level design perspective, there's a lot of what we call over, under, and around kind of flow, like movement, right? So you can think of there's going to be people above you, there's going to be people circling around, underneath, pathways, all that kind of stuff. And we're taking it very seriously from that viewpoint. And players are going to be traveling up, down, just like you look at the name of the game. DeadDrop, it's got the arrows that are going up and down. Players are going to be traversing and battling both upward and downward. And that, to us, is something that's really exciting about this game, is that there's not a lot of that in the game industry right now, especially from a level design viewpoint. So for us, a vertical extraction shooter is taking something, when you look at a lot of games that are horizontally built, we're taking that play space and making it vertical. Now, there's still going to be a lot of horizontal aspect to it. It's going to be big. It's not going to be, you're not going to be in an elevator shaft. That building is huge, okay? And so there's going to be a lot of space for you to roam. There's going to be a lot of people hunting you. You're going to be the hunter, right? You're going to be stalking other players, getting loot, and maybe at the end of the day, we'll put some toilets in there for you to build as well.
So vertical extraction shooter, like what exactly is that going to look like? Because for me, this is new. I haven't played any games where it's vertically based.
Sorry, that
Little
question's
further.
no good.
What's that going to look like for us? What can we expect?
Okay. All right. Again, just making sure we're all good. We have a voice up here. Okay. So, what's that going to look like? Well, you see on the screen right now, that is the exterior, right? And the main reason we wanted this tower there is we wanted that inspiration. That is the goal. That's where we want to get to. That right there is the place that largely people are going to be playing in DeadDrop. That's where you're going to be going on your runs, okay? That's where you're going to be dropping. That's where you're going to be trying to escape with your life and your things. So what's that look like? We're not going to, we don't want to release or talk about everything that's going on there, because right now we're so focused on Snapshot 1 and what that is. But just to give you a little bit of taste, that's a lot of building. And there's a lot of things in there. So internally, we've already had really fun, interesting conversations about what each area of that building, what that tower is going to look like, from visual thematics, right, to even gameplay. Like, we're even calling them like sectors, right? So not just floors, but like a sector. And this building is going to have multiple sectors inside it. And each sector is huge. And each sector is going to have different themes in it. Like, hey, is this one like a hospital? Okay, cool. Or is this like a home medical area? Is this a storage area? Where's the sector that is exterior based? So we get a little bit of that cool weather that you see in Snapshot 1 with the rain. So that's just a little bit of the tease. We'll get more into that. And we have big, high hopes and goals for what the tower gameplay is like. But rest assured, it's going to be crazy and awesome.
Yeah, I have a quick question. How?
Take his beer away.
I just got a quick question.
Turn his mic off.
How many people here completed the ARG that we did? A decent amount, right? And like the ARG we called the CC protocol, which was the Claws Combat Protocol, right? It was a training ground, a simulator to figure out how our variants would think, how they sort of approach this concept of sector-to-sector gameplay, choosing between engaging and extracting, right? That ARG laid a lot of philosophical foundation for how we think about the tower, how it's constructed. Because I think philosophically, and by all means chime in, correct me if I'm wrong or you want to elaborate, I know what we love based on our collective experiences on different franchises is we love like arena map design, right? What we love about that is we love being able to learn a map, master an area, learn sight lines and cover points and the best place to post up, right? But we really enjoy the larger scale of battle royales. But there's some downsides to that, right? And I think what we were looking at with this vertical design was how can we get the sort of map design we love, but with the player counts and scales that we love without the benefits of the other stuff, right? Then sprinkle in a little of that persistent session-to-session gameplay that you get from extraction shooters, and you got something there, right? And I think that is what has led the foundation for where we're going. But the thing is, we're not just gonna drop that on you, right? We're gonna build towards that, and at any point, when we play it, that could change based on the sentiment, right? We could be moving in that direction full speed ahead, and we're just not feeling it as a group, right? As a collective. And then we augment, we change, we iterate. But the starting point is really looking at how do we capture that arena map design style, scope and scale, verticality and every sort of element to it, and build towards that in a really interesting way. But let's do it one building block at a time.
Okay. So I think that about...
With that being said, guys, there are plenty of BRs out right now, such as Apex, Warzone, and we can't forget Fortnite, and there's been a whole bunch of other ones that have been popping up. One thing that they all have in common is they are horizontal, they are flat, there's a circle closing in, a storm, and as fun as they might be, we need to change up big time, and DeadDrop can provide just that. And instead of being on a flat map, we're going to be able to be in a large tower the size of a large city, Doc claims. Now, it might be massive in the sectors and the floors will be huge, but one thing that they wanted to put across is there will be different themes. One might be a hospital, one might be an armory, one might be a storage unit, we have no idea. The biggest point that they wanted to get across was it's PvP and PvE. We will also be touching on that in the video pretty soon. So the options are, will you loot up and try and get as much loot as possible and be greedy and continue to go and lose it all if you run into a team, or the PvE aspect, or will you grab your stuff, get out and get on extraction and find out what you got to be able to put it onto that marketplace, and we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited to hear what else we have to see on that, and let's talk about the PvE section. So a couple days ago, Midnight Society went on Twitter and we were able to ask them questions, more in-depth questions so they can answer it because there wasn't a lot of time at the event. Someone asked Robert a question, but his answer was for the PvP PvE, pretty much what we just touched on earlier, and I wanted to read the tweet. Yes, this is a PvPvE experience. The E in it covers all types of things, environmental, PCs, and also NPCs. Each sector has its own theme and shutdown sequence, which triggers events like you mentioned, weather, threats, dangers, extreme conditions. So who knows, you might go in there and you might find some expensive loot and it triggers something. Flood, lightning, some soldiers coming out that are PCs that are going to start trying to shoot you and get you and take you out of the game so that way you can't have the loot. Floods, fires, whoever else knows what it's going to be. But that could happen and you might have to go, like Doc said in a stream not too long ago, you might have to go 20 floors up to get to extraction. Will it be in a helicopter? Will it be in a boat? Will it be in a car? Who knows? But I think that's a very interesting thing to touch on. Not only are you worrying about the player mechanics, another team coming in, you're worrying about the environment around you, what's going to happen, how you can get out. And is there a team right around the corner who knows you triggered that because they're going after the same loot? I think one interesting thing that would be cool is that there's monthly events that happen. So there's monthly events that come along, and then there's high tier loot. It might be like takes you to the end of a hallway, you got to go another 30 hallways down, but once you get to the first one, the environmental aspect kicks in, or the PCs come out and they start trying to attack you. Who knows? But I think it should be really interesting. With all that being said, guys, I hope you're excited for the game. I will be covering more stuff and diving deeper into it. Right now, I think this closely resembles something to The Division. The Division had a big event called the Summit, where it was 100 floors. You could find exotic guns, gear, and you were able to run into new foes. That's one aspect. Let's take that, but times it by 100 and add environmental things in it. I think this is going to be a cool game and something to look forward to, and something to run in with your team and experience it together. So, if you guys have any ideas, or if you think there's anything I didn't touch, please put it in the comments below. Or also, if you have some ideas of what maybe an event could be in the tower, drop those below. Alright guys, what does a vertical BR mean to you? Please drop it in the comments below. If you have any ideas, please also list those in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that sub button, ring that bell to get notified whenever I'm posting a new video, and I will see you guys around the way.